What is up, guys, and welcome to Documented Drive. In today's feature, we have an in-depth look at the 2023 Ford Ranger Wildtrak V6. This is one of the best and the latest vehicles in the market. The Ford Ranger is actually among the best-selling vehicles in the country. It's actually the second best-selling Bakkie in the country, South Africa, at the moment. And in today's feature, we're going to have an in-depth look at the Ranger, have a look at some of the amazing features that make it such a distinguished Bakkie, as well as have a look at some of the technical features that come in the brand new Ford Ranger generation. And today I'm at Fort Hatfield in Four Ways, and they have very kindly allowed me to come down and film this beautiful Ranger Wildtrak. I also want to extend a big thank you and special shout out to everybody who takes time and who has taken time to subscribe to the channel and to actually watch, like, and comment on my videos. Feel free to like, comment, and share if you like the content. And so, without further ado, we're gonna unlock this bad boy and get cracking. Outside, the Ford Ranger has got this beautiful commanding grille, which has got this centerpiece Ford logoing right here, underneath of which sits that beautiful front view camera. Now, the most conspicuous design element of the Ranger is this C-clamp daytime running light, which actually goes for both of these lamps. It also features these high-intensity discharges and headlamps, as well as an LED indicator signal right here. The same treatment goes on this side as well, and you have got this beautiful LED daytime as well as turning light here. So these two LEDs, basically, they can either be turning lights or your normal fog lights. Also, you've got these points here for the park distance control. These are basically sensors for the vehicle, which scream at you if you get too close to an object. The main design of the Ranger is very reminiscent to that of the Ford Maverick, which is the American-only spec Ford. Now, as you would expect with the Ford Ranger, this vehicle does come with a smart key access system. What you do basically is, as long as you have the key fob within proximity of the vehicle, you can keep the key fob in your pocket like I've done, and utilizing the touch sensors behind the door handles, you are able to wirelessly lock and unlock the vehicle. The vehicle is currently locked as indicated by the folding in of these mirrors. And if I touch the door handle, there's a touch sensor behind the door handle. If I touch it, the vehicle unlocks and the mirrors light up to show you that the vehicle has actually been unlocked. To lock, you just put your thumb or any other finger really on this depressed portion, and the vehicle will lock. Now, locking and unlocking is indicated by the chiming of this LED light in the mirror right here. The color of this Ford is actually a charcoal gray, which is actually contrasted by this beautiful blackened out rim. Very nice Goodyear Wrangler tire with this side step, and this vehicle comes with a V6 engine. The main characteristic of the Ford Ranger Wildtrak is the contrast orange stitching, and this is no exception in the latest generation Wildtrak. You get quite a bit of leather going on here in this upper portion, middle, and a bit of the lower portion there. Down there, you get a bit of hard plastic, little cup holder, that's a speaker. Your controls for the windows and mirrors, lock, unlock, bit of hard plastic there. Beautiful blackened out interior. And as you can see, the contrast orange stitching continues throughout the interior. We'll get to all of that in just a second. Very beautiful technical interior. The first thing that captures your attention when you hop inside the Ranger are the two screens, the one in the driver's panel as well as the one in the infotainment center. The one in the infotainment center is actually a tablet style, and if I put the vehicle on, which I can do so by just pressing this button here, you can see a bit of a built tough animation there, as well as a bit of a chime to let you know that you currently have the vehicle's door open at the moment. Now, this being a digital screen, it does pack in a lot of information which you can just cycle through using the controls in the steering wheel, but we'll get to all of that just a little bit later. If we now bring our attention to the center of the vehicle, you find that when the tablet style center screen is on, it pretty much dominates the entire dashboard. You get these dual vertical air vents on the side or on either side of the screen. Further down is the dual zone climate control system, which means that for the driver and the passenger, you can actually set the temperatures as individuals. That's the button to turn the system on and off. That is air vent speed. That is your window defrosting. That is the AC. That is recycling. That's your hazard light right there. Moving a bit further down, you find that there's a bit of a storage there to the right, and on the left here is a wireless charger for your phone. This system, by the way, also uses the Apple CarPlay as well as Android Auto systems. So if you put your phone there, it will automatically connect to the system without needing a cable to connect to it. Moving further down, you have this beautiful e-shifter, which is actually finished in leather, which is contrast stitched by this signature orange stitching right here, which is typical of the Ford Ranger Wildtrak. Next to which is this dual cup holder system. Now behind this, you get a drive mode selector, one of my favorite features in any Ford vehicle. The drive mode selector basically allows you to tune the vehicle's drivetrain according to the terrain over which you are driving. For example, if you are driving over tarmac where there is little resistance to the wheels, you can just put your vehicle on 2H as it is at the moment, right? Because 2H means that you have two-wheel drive, which is rear-wheel drive, and you have got high range. You have access to all of the vehicle's 9 gears. Now, when you're driving over gravel road where there's a bit of uneven road, where the roads are slippery, where there's like little loose rocks on the road, you can just put the vehicle on 4H. What 4H means is that you have 4-wheel drive, the power is being sent to all 4 wheels, and you have got high range, which means that all 9 gears, you still have access to all 9 gears in this mode. Now, when the going gets super tough, you can actually select 4L. 4L means 4-wheel drive at low range. What this means basically is that all 4 wheels are being driven, but now we don't have access to all 9 gears. In fact, with the use of a transfer case, we have got 2 gears. It's typically 1 or 2 gears in the transfer case, 2 lower gears to these ones. You have 2 lower gears in the transfer case that allow the vehicle to have optimum pulling power to actually be able to conquer uneven terrain, rocks, water, steep terrain, etc. So this driving mode is most suitable basically for 4L is used over terrain that is extremely steep, where there's rocks, where there's steep inclines and declines as well. Now 4A is an automatic feature. Basically, if you put the car in 4A, it'll automatically select the most appropriate drive mode for you depending on the road, on the terrain over which you are driving. If, for example, you are suddenly leaving tarmac and driving into the gravel road, it will automatically lock the diff for you. It will automatically select 4-wheel drive for you without you having to do anything. This basically is an automatic mode that selects gears, that selects drive modes as it sees fit. Now on the right here, we have got, this is actually a parking mode, like a sort of a trailer parking mode. Like if you want to actually park the vehicle, if you just press this is park assistance. Basically turns on and off the parking sensors of the vehicle. This is your traction control. This is auto start stop. Now this is essentially a feature that turns this rear camera on, like I've just done. So now I press it, the cameras come on and the cameras come off. If we switch our attention to this center console right here, it's actually nice and deeply weld. Inside the center console, you find that there is a 12-volt power outlet. Now the lid is actually finished in leather, which is stitched in this beautiful contrasting orange, as you would find typical in the Wildtrak. Now if you look at the seats here, the seats have got these beautiful side bolsters, this beautiful leather at the top, at the bottom, all the way down, the Wildtrak logo ring right there, and this little suede finish at the middle here. And then this leather is actually very nice to the feel, contrasting stitching all the way throughout the seat. Now on this side of the dashboard, the Wildtrak logo ring right there, and then you've got this bit of leather here as well. Hard plastic goes on there, and then this is a little bit of a storage here. That's the storage cubby right there. And then the interior is actually very quite a nice interior. The steering wheel of the Ford Ranger, very comfortable, very beautiful, leather finished with double stitching. The stitching is a double orange stitching, as the same basically as you will find throughout the vehicle. Steering wheel is actually very high quality. It's got these beautiful bolsters at the 10 and 2 position. You've got these cruise control button here, and you've got the phone controls. Now this switch control this little screen here, and then these ones, that's your cruise control, and that's your volume up and down, you mute, etc. And then at the base here, it's not exactly a flat base, it's actually a round base, but then the spoke here, it actually opens up into two sort of sub spokes, which are finished in a beautiful piano veneer finish. Quite nice high feel steering wheel, and the cover is finished in this realistic Ford logo ring here as well. Now, interestingly enough, when you open the Ford's door, there's no traditional door handle. Instead, you use this little flap here, which you actually pull, and then you open. It's quite an interesting little addition to the Ford Ranger Bakkie. Very beautiful interior. We're gonna turn this bad boy off. There we go. Now when you turn it off, it actually gives you this nice animation of a Ford which diminishes and ultimately turns off. Now this little panel here, this is the light panel. As you can see, your automatic lights, your highs, your low, your brights, all that stuff, your parking lights, etc. Everything you will find here as far as illumination is concerned. This is a little mug holder, cup holder right here for the driver. Very handy indeed. That's also another vertical air vent, as you find with the ones right here. And then we're going to move on to the back part, to the passenger compartment of the Ford Ranger. The Ford Ranger is a very tall vehicle, therefore these side steps come in very handy. The treatment at the front continues into the back, in the sense that you find that beautiful leather here, hard plastic down there, that's a speaker. That door handle I showed you a little bit about earlier on, that contrast stitching. So all the luxuries going on at the front continue at the back. Rear passengers don't miss out on the luxuries here at all. Hop on in. Side steps. Very nice legroom at the back here. Now currently I've got the seat scooted out all the way back. Very comfortable. Now the leather finish of the seats in the Wildtrak continues all the way to the back, all the way into these little plastic into these little pockets here. Quite a nice attention to detail feature, I must say. Those vertical air vents continue back here in the same honeycomb shape as you will find them. You get a 230 volt power outlet. You can actually plug a 3-point plug in this, at the back here. You can plug in a 3-point plug. That is super amazing. And then on the left here, you have 2 USB type ports. That's a USB A, and that is a USB C. Leather all the way around. That contrast stitching continues all the way to the back here. The Ford Ranger is quite a luxurious vehicle. The middle portion of the rear seat actually folds out. Just gonna, there we go. Actually folds out and reveals these two cup holders. That leather continues here. This is actually a very impressive detail, given that most of the time this will be spent scooted all the way up. But when you do fold it down, you can find that the leather continues here. This is genuine leather, except there's no contrast stitching here, which I don't think is a train smash. Very, very comfortable indeed. And then you get the usual drive shaft hump, as you will find typically with any vehicle. And that is how the Ford Ranger looks from here. At this point, in case we're wondering, this is how much this particular Ford Ranger will set you back. $959,890. And then on the overhead panel here, you get these auxiliary buttons here. Now these auxiliary buttons allow you to customize your Ford. You can actually add things like winches, things like extra lights at the roof of the vehicle. It's basically unlimited as to what you can add, and you can actually control using these auxiliary lights right here. And then this is a sunglass holder, like so. And then that's the interior illumination right there. Then you get these two sun visors, both of which have got these vanity mirrors for both the driver and the passenger. Very, very nice vehicle. And then we're gonna check out the rest of the car, shall we? Ford was actually among the first Bakkie suppliers, Bakkie producers in South Africa to incorporate the side steps into the modern Bakkie. And it actually works quite well because you can just put your foot there and you have access into the loading bed right there. Underneath is, of course, the leather frame chassis, which has been widened to accommodate any type of drivetrain, including a hybrid drivetrain, which Ford will be introducing onto the Ranger range. Beautiful Wildtrak logo ring. You get that brake light right there. That's a tow bar. Actually comes standard with this particular vehicle. Now, depending on the spec and to an extent the country at which it's being sold, the Ford Ranger does come with a ruler on certain specs. Not this one though, but certain other Ford Rangers will come with a ruler for those handy jobs that you may need to do. The Ranger Wildtrak also features these 2 points on the left and on the right. These are basically points where you can mount a heavy duty clamp, this side and this side as well. Now this is for your jobs like sewing, hammering, all that stuff basically. And at this point, if you don't have an idea of what I'm talking about, this is what I mean. This is what these points are used for. Now in other spec Fords, you do also get a ruler that runs along the length of the tailgate right here, but unfortunately not in this Wildtrak spec. However, if we focus our attention inside the loading bed, you find that there are 3 points, actually 2 points. 2 points, one a 12-volt power outlet. This is a 12-volt power outlet which you can actually open and plug in something there. The other one is a 230-volt power outlet. That's basically a 3-point plug. So this car, under the right uses, can actually be an inverter basically. It can be a power supply that is actually used to maybe charge your phone or power small appliances. I mean, how cool is that, given that this is an actual pickup? So the functionality of the Ford pickup has gone beyond what is actually expected of a normal pickup truck. And this is the rest of the bed. This is how it looks. It's actually rubberized, quite heavy duty rubberizing. There we go. It's got this little nice tonneau cover here, by the way. It's got this nice tonneau cover here, which I'm a bit reluctant to actually slide back and forth. Quite a nice vehicle this. I'm gonna close that back up. Well folks, I hope you've enjoyed the review of the Ford Ranger Wildtrak V6 as much as I've shown recording it for you. Be sure to stay tuned because there's a ton more videos of this sort to come your way. In the meantime, like, subscribe and share the video. Take care everybody. Thank you so much for watching.